Well, good afternoon. It is just past noon, and I am sitting in my car at the trailhead in the Birkhead Mountain Wilderness of the Yucca National Forest. I'm at the Robbins Branch Trailhead, and trying something hardly new. I'm going to call this the kitchen sink trip. At a recent trip to my parents' house, I went to the attic and I found my very first backpack, which was an old Boy Scout Yucca Ranger pack on an aluminum frame, and basically a bucket with a pouch on the outside and a flap on top. And I decided that I wanted to try it out and see how it was today after, I don't know, 30 some years of experience in between. I haven't worn this pack in probably 30 years. Made a couple of modifications to it, which I'll talk about later. But I also decided I was just going to bring a whole bunch of junk. In fact, I'm carrying a day pack filled with stuff too that I'll be using to do some hikes. I'll set up a base camp and then I'll hike out with the day pack and just have a good time down here 3 or 4 days soloing, and really looking forward to it. So stay tuned and I'll let you know what's up. Thanks for watching. Okay, here she is. You may be able to faintly see the Boy Scout seal on top. This is a Yucca Ranger. I have updated the cord because it was really old, but this is what I mean by the kitchen sink. I've got trekking poles, I've got a Doc Demon mini fishing pole, I've got Crocs, I've got a stool, I've got a GSI table, I have under quilt and top quilt over there. I have axe right here. So tons of stuff. More stuff there. And a little day pack over here. Love this, by the way. This is my Flash 22 from REI. Nobody wanted this pattern. I grabbed it for 20 some bucks, something like that. Alright, well, I'm at the Robbins Branch Trailhead and I have my pack on, and it's feeling heavy because it has a lot of weight in it. A lot more than I would usually carry if I'm carrying a 35 liter, Climate Motion or something. But this is a luxury trip. This is everything but the kitchen sink trip. Chairs, tables, you name it. Huge cookware set, steak, all sorts of stuff. So carrying it in is not going to be a whole lot of fun. Eating it will be a lot of fun, a lot less to carry out. So I'm going to take off. Not going to chat much on the way in, and let you know once I'm setting up camp. Okay, so kitchen sink carry, Flash 22 front pack, cooler bag with ice in it, and beverages. Behind my neck feels awesome. Gives me free hands. But for the record, this is how not to hike. So this is one of the perks of coming after a lot of recent heavy rain. Probably see a lot of those. But here's the beautiful little trail I'm on right now. To Birkhead Mountain Trail, Robbins Branch Trail to the left, Hannah's Creek Trail to the right. But looking good. And I'm not really worried about picking my places carefully here. Okay. Yep. Holly tree. And it goes down this way. So I'm giving my eyes a little bit of a chance to adjust here to the contrast and the shade as I come down this short little trail. All right. And here I am at the first little site here. Being careful to keep an eye on the path, look on both sides of logs that I'm crossing. Under and around, pushing cobwebs out of my way. All right. Okay. Second fire ring, creek. So, he gets hot hiking in a whole bunch of junk. But if you can hike in cold beer, cheers. Nothing any better than that. Alright, so let me tell you what I'm doing here. I've got my pot heating up, my kettle. This is dehydrated vegetable biryani. I dehydrated it at home, experimenting with it. You can buy these in, they're ready to eat in foil packets, but they weigh a lot. And so I dehydrated it. I weighed it before I dehydrated it in the packet, weighed it after I dehydrated it, subtracted the packet weight, and I found that about a cup of water weight wise, was what was missing. So I'm going to add a cup of water to this and see if I can rehydrate it. I brought steak for tonight in this insulated Whole Foods market little cooler kind of thing. What I did was I cut it in half. It was a lot wider, and sewed it back together to use it as a cozy for my foods for when I have hot foods. And so right now what I need to do is figure out how to measure stuff. And maybe I have something in here, but I don't know. Like a Pilka cup. No, that's probably as close to it as I need, honestly. That was quick. Yeah, baby. All right, let me just say, Dale's Pale Ale, Brevard, North Carolina, which is in the heart of North Carolina's mountain area. So this particular one came from there. 6.5% by volume. If you're going to pack in 12 ounces, you might as well enjoy it. All right. I'm going to call that about a cup of water. Okay, that don't look real good right now. Let's see how it does. And I'll experiment. I'll just drop it in here. And letting that cook a bit. All right, let me be very honest about carrying this in. A pack over there and the other pack beyond it. It weighed a lot. I did not have a proper waist belt, and it was tiring. It'll be tiring carrying it out, but carrying this in has made it completely worth it. Ice cold Dale's Pale Ale. Oh my gosh. You know, I would have carried a third pack if I'd needed to. So this has been great, and I'm just beginning to relax here. I'm just watching the play of light and shadows, and I'm going to talk a little bit later about something called forest bathing, which is a Japanese concept. I'll give you some more information about it, but that's one of my goals for this trip. So just kind of look around, look at the way the wind moves the leaves and it changes the light and shadows down there on the water. Over here where I have my little ripple, you can see, if you look closely up on the trees, you can see the reflection of the sunlight glittering on the trees. I mean, I could watch that for hours, and that's kind of one of my goals, is to do something like that. This is a trip that doesn't have any real prerequisites. It's long enough that I can mess around and do stuff. Brought a day pack with me so I can, you know, enjoy day hikes out of base camp. Don't have to set up every day. Don't have to backpack around. And this being a Monday, nobody down here. It's glorious, and I'm really going to enjoy this. So, oh yeah. Let's say that's beginning to look pretty good again. When I first put that water in there, I was like, oh my gosh. Nice and hot. Beginning to look like biryani. So we'll see. Got a loaf of bread with me this time. I never take bread. Some Idahoan loaded baked mashed potatoes. Got some sardines. No idea how they're going to be. Could do that with this lunch. I just need a meat. I think I'm going to go with a pack of tuna though. This, by the way, is chana, which is pindi chana is a chickpea Indian curry dish. But this is how my dehydrated food came. A lot heavier, still compact, but I wanted to do something different. Alright, let's get down in. Here we go. Okay. So this is what I'm looking for. I'm going to have me some pitted snack olives with a hint of pepper. going to go with tapatio with lime for my lunch meat today. This is still looking better and better every time I do it. So short term, I'm going to say that was a success. Today I'll be eating that with this. This is it's a a spoon that I carved myself out of cedar. And it's super light. Cedar is a very light wood, very rot resistant and things like that. Just has olive oil on it as a agent to help preserve the wood a little bit. But just the figuring of the wood is beautiful. And I'm looking forward to using this. I made it kind of extra thick, extra sturdy, because I wanted to be able to stick it in my mess kit. So I'm looking forward to trying this out. Alright, let's see how close to being done this is. Wow. Biryani has a little bit of spice to it. Got a little too much water in it, but it rehydrated beautifully. Good little run coming down and out. Hey, welcome back. It is, I don't know, sometime after 4 in the afternoon. I'm feeling pretty good. I have 4.5 liters of water that I just filtered using my Sawyer squeeze, which was a piece of cake. I actually opened another beer while I was in the middle of it. And I have a nice little camp set up here. I need to focus a little bit on getting some wood, splitting down some smaller stuff, making some feather sticks, looking for really good hardwood stuff that I can use to get a good bed of coals to grill a massive ribeye steak, which incidentally is frozen, so I might want to get that out before too long. I want to show you around my camp a little bit. So this is my Warbonnet Blackbird XLC. It's a hammock that is known for having what's called a shelf. You can put stuff up in here, glasses, keys, pocket knife, whatever. It's an asymmetrical hammock design. It does have bug net that's integrated. And on the other end, it has this is the foot box. And the foot box allows me to lie on a diagonal kind of nicely. Alright, over here we have my camp kitchen. I didn't build this network of logs that you kind of see here. It kind of boxes it in. It must have been a winter thing for campfires in the ring here. I have redone this to accommodate my grill later on when I'm grilling my steak tonight. But over here, you'll see I just put my little GSI camp table on kind of a triangular corner table in this stuff, just to kind of get it up and off the ground. This is my mess kit, bushcraft mess kit. I have a video on that, although I've altered it a little bit. Right there is my wash basin for cleaning up dishes. It's a 5-liter Sea to Summit one with just some miscellaneous stuff in it right now. Bushbox XL stove sitting here. I need to go get some water shortly. And my camp stool that I brought, and my food bag. So that's all we have there. And over here, you can see I put my trash bag a little bit of ways on a tree for now. Toiletries I have hanging here. Another view of my situation, basically, with the hammock in the background and with this in the foreground. Down there, I got my good stuff, my Dale's Pale Ale beer, still cold in this premium thermal bag. Whatever, it has ice in it, which is helping, but even a cool beer, which I can get from throwing in the creek, would be fine. And then over here, what I did was I just lashed a little piece of wood to the tree to hang up my backpack so that I could get it off the ground. And then my Baco Laplander, but this is the professional saw, which is just orange and black instead of green, I think. And my little pseudo Fisker's axe. This is the Ozark Trail $13, $12, $16, something like that axe. Does just fine. Still using it. So anyway, that is my camp here. And, sorry, I had a bug crawling on the lens. Thought that I would just show it to you and let you know how I'm going to be spending my time. This again is my view when I wake up in the morning. This is my white noise in the evening. Alright, I've added a few more upgrades to my camp. One of those is my Tyvek floor, so to speak. This allows me to take my shoes off, put my socks on here. Basically a little bit cleaner than just the ground. Look at this beautiful creek. I'm not going to have a bit of trouble sleeping. It'll be heavy. Interesting how dark this corner gets up here, just from the changes of the day. All right, just to reorient you, there's my sawyer set up for gravity feed. Now, over here, I added a piece of paracord. This is just basically tied off as a kind of a different kind of shelf. Here is my Yucca candle lantern that I will light later on in the evening. I'm testing out two new features of it. One is this foldable hood that basically is designed to shine light down, maximizing the exposure. And the other is this mirror. This is intended to kind of put a beam of light out. And I don't know if you're supposed to use them together or not, but I'm going to just see how they work tonight. I'm kind of curious about it. Another little doohickey I'm trying out is this thing. This is known as the Hero Clip. It pivots here. It's got a carabiner kind of thing here. And I'm finding it very useful for hanging up my little day pack that I brought along with me today. Now I don't need to really worry about bear bags and things like that here. But I do like to practice that. And so consequently, this is my bear bag rig. This is a piece of reflective paracord, 50-foot length, down to actually a serious Metolus carabiner. And then a little nylon bag that I sewed, put a rock in it, throw it up over a branch. It's hard to express the change that's fallen over the camp since I got here. I got here around about noon, and it looks a lot brighter on screen, I think, than it actually is. But there's it's catching the sun. Let me go over this way a little bit. Yeah, this is really what it's like. It's relatively cool. I'm going to take my watch off so it can keep track of temperature better than it can when it's on my wrist anyway. It's relatively cool. There's a kind of a brightness that's gone. I took a nap about 2 o'clock and was out for probably, I don't know, close to an hour, 45 minutes. This is my grill for tonight, and I need to get a bed of hot coals. So what you have here is hardwood that I have collected. The key to fire building is preparation. You have to have fuel, you have to have oxygen, and you have to have a heat source. So this is what my old-time Scoutmaster used to call twiggies. Really, really fine things down to, really teeny. Happen to be in a place that has a lot of holly trees. When holly twigs dry, they become very brittle, very flammable. They're an excellent source for twiggies. And then, just to kind of demonstrate, it goes up in size gradually. Then over here we have a bigger size, and then a bunch of hardwood logs. I don't know what this is. Maybe ironwood or something. But I tried to split it, and it was impossible. Alright, for dinner tonight I have kind of what I would call a monster ribeye. It's wrapped in parchment paper. It's more than an inch thick, so I'm going to season that up shortly. And to go with that, the classic backpacker food, loaded baked potatoes made with 100% real Idaho potatoes, perfectly blended with sour cream, cheese, onion, and chives, and a taste of butter and bacon. I'm going to actually add some bacon bits to it as well. Okay, so here's where I am. I'm going to use my backcountry seasoning to season this steak, but I'm not getting it out yet because I don't want critters on it until I put it on the grill. I'm also going to step up my game a little bit. This is a Mark West Pinot Noir in a plastic cup. This is going to double as a container for any gold that I might find when I go panning for gold eventually. So, obviously, I'm not serious about trying to get anything, but if I do find something, I can at least put it in there and show my boys. That's halfway through. Alright, mes amis, this is my meal for tonight. Jumbo ribeye, flame grilled, and loaded mashed potatoes. I'm looking forward to it. Oh, I almost forgot. A little plastic mini, some wine just to make it a little bit better. All right, I have some work to do to this food. I will see you all later. When it comes to steak, everybody knows what he likes. I like medium rare. That's what this is. If you've done this before, you know what this is like. I feel you, brother. I feel you, sister. This is heaven.